Life. It is the force that exists in all things that aren't this performance. As you have clearly been born with functioning arteries, you have no doubt experienced life in one way or another. However, it is one thing to live life, and another to understand it. Unfortunately, life doesn't just come with an instruction manual.
This isn't really as philosophical as I was hoping.
Ultimately, in order to understand the mysteries of the universe, you first must comprehend the eyes in which you see it, your own eyes specifically. In other words, this is a very personal thing, and therefore, not my problem! Perhaps this subject warrants further elaboration. In order to begin your grand personal journey, you will need to find the center of what you truly are. You can start by looking in the mirror. Congratulations! You have been enlightened.
What do you mean this is the final draft of the script?
It is said that experience is the best teacher, presumably because experience works for peanuts. Learning about yourself and your limitations as an intelligent pile of carbon is simply a matter of putting yourself into situations that could potentially teach you about other people's perspectives or about your own place here on Earth. Of course, placing yourself into new situations will not always yield positive results. Clearly, he's thrilled. But now, how will he work the morning shifts? Bad experiences are not always such a bad thing. We certainly remember them more, and they can provide insight into the pain of others. During this life, your experience will only be molded by the way you experience it, as you'll never be able to live anyone else's life but your own. At the end of the day, it's all about you. It's always been about you, because the world revolves not around the provider of life and perpetual eyesore that is the sun, the big fireball that makes the very existence of sentient life possible, but rather around you. Now that you've acquired your newfound epiphany, you are ready to share your ideas and concepts with the rest of the world. Regardless of whether your contribution is something that is immediately obvious,
this movie is awful!
Or a completely obscure and earth-shattering realization that will rock the foundation of human civilization for centuries to come.
Talking monkeys can't fly planes!
What matters is that you can now teach or relate to your fellow intellectuals, whilst wearing monocles and laughing at the working class. Of course, important to be able to communicate effectively with other people when expressing your experiences and ideas to them. Because at the end of the day, we're all just lonely walking sacks of sentient water destined to be forgotten by humanity and the universe, as we're nothing more than a speck on a speck on a speck on a speck on a speck. And by golly, we need that special something to get through each day, and I'm sure as trout I'm tired of ice cream bars, so please, just talk to me! Oh, and to give ideas and values that could potentially move our society to a better future. I suppose. Once you and your ragtag group of young and aspiring rapscallions are done throwing your phones at ducks, or whatever it is you kids do these days, you can begin to make the world a better place. Why, people getting ideas out there and talking about them with one another is the basis of most societies. Just look at the bastion of progress that is our government, and how this congressman asks the hard-hitting questions that really makes people reevaluate what life is all about.
Do you like green eggs and ham?
Now, let us recap the main points of this video, because, like you, I was not paying attention. Point 1. Throw yourself into incredibly dangerous situations, and eventually you'll have enough life experience to become an enlightened individual like Jesus! Or the Buddha. Or a space lamp.
Now you see, the reason why the space lamp is enlightened is because there's no gravity in space. Also, it's a lamp.
Point 2. Don't be afraid to share your knowledge with other people. You may find that it could benefit all of you in the future. Your collective and greater understanding through your expanded consciousness can only improve your chances of being in a group that contains 2 or more people. Point 3. Spread your ideals with the world in order to make it a better place, or at least do something useful. Because while ultimately your life is your own, and your life revolves around you to at least some extent, you'll want to help others out, because if you don't, the giant windmill-covered lobster demon that watches you in your sleep will come down and smite thee with his lightning of godly capitalism. On the whole, make sure to be a decent person most of the time, and things will turn out okay. As long as you're willing to think deeper and get smarter and see the world through a different lens, your own conclusions should bring you to the places you wish to go. Ha ha! Well, that should cover about everything. Oh, wait. I was supposed to tie this in with literature, wasn't I? I don't have enough stock footage left to shoehorn in any references to literature, or a reference to anything for that matter. How would I even validate... Hello?
Why are you buying clothes at the soup store?
And then they died.